Hey everybody, Berettas here. So I wanted to do a quick video on what's been my go-to rifle for, geez, maybe 6+ years at this point. This is my Midwest Industries and it's an 18-inch AR. You can see here I have the now Hux Works, but it was an OSS at the time. This is a 7.62 titanium. I'm waiting on my 5.56 can that's in jail yet, but all these things fit the same adapters. Going down the rifle, here's my Rain Micro 2 that I just put together a video on, and actually I was incorrect about something. The standard switch it comes with, it actually does have a button back here and a switch up here, and you can depress either one for that. So I ran it up, I set it up with a switch again. I'm not a big fan of this plastic housing, the way that they have that set up. The other thing on my rifles, I almost always run a BCM short angled grip here like this, or it's like an angled vert, if you will. So I run one of these, and this is my right hand, so it's a little odd, but I grab in and then keep most of my hand up on the rifle. I don't, I'm not hugging it down here, and I wouldn't recommend anyone do that, but it's just a way as like kind of a wedge for your hand so that you can pull that back into your shoulder tight, get a real good lock in the rifle and be more effective downrange. So to go on with this, right now I put my primary arms back on here, and it's got pretty big spacer on it, but it's comfortable for me where if I put my face on this, this is landing right where it should be. I don't have to tuck my face to see it or anything like that. So I'm giving this setup a try with the spacer in here. I will say that this primary arm sight has blown me away. This is the 1X Prism. Unfortunately, I have astigmatism, so I can't see red dots. Even EOTechs and holos and things like that, they're just too blurry for me to be accurate with. So I checked out these primary arms, and oh man, I was really impressed with this. For the price point too, you'll see in other videos, I actually have 3 Trijicon ACOGs, and I was so impressed with this. I think that's probably all I'll buy moving forward, are these primary arms prism sights. They're shake awake, they have a long battery life, really wide field of view, great clear glass, a bunch of adjustable settings. So yeah, very happy with this. And then the rest of my rifle, it came with Magpul stock here. You can see this stock's pretty good. It has kind of this tension lock here, so it doesn't wobble very much. There's not much play in it. The trigger on this is just their typical GI one. It's a decent trigger. It's not a great trigger. They're pretty famous for kind of their handguards. This, Midwest Industries. They make pretty sturdy equipment here. I have about 13,000 rounds through this rifle, I would estimate, maybe a little bit more. The only thing I've had to change on it was the buffer spring. Got a little bit too loose, and it wasn't pushing that bolt back the way that I like. So on the other side of it here, we just have I put this sling adapter here. So I use snap hooks on my slings. It just, it's easier, like when I go deer hunting or something, it rattles about the same, I would say, from things. You might be able to put like rubber bands inside your hook or something and make it rattle less. But I use snap hooks because it's just a quick snap them on. You don't have to fumble with, one of the things that I found difficult is if you use QD mounts, if you have like a glove or your hands are cold or anything, pressing that button and getting it out of there is a real pain in the ass. So that's where I switched to snap hooks. The slings I run are Slide Tactical. I gave them a try after a review from 1911 Syndicate, and the padded ones have been great. That's all I've switched to. They make them for size fat like I take. Great slings. So a little bit more about this rifle. It has a Criterion barrel in it. And I know some of you may be asking, like, why do you get an 18-inch? to be honest, I was young and dumb, and I just grabbed the upper off. I didn't look at what the size was. I was so excited. I actually went to their shop in Waukesha. I used to live in Wisconsin. And I went to their shop in Waukesha, grabbed this off the rack. I thought it was a 16-inch. It was an 18-inch. Got home and then noticed the difference on that and the size of things. So this is an 18-inch upper. It has a Criterion barrel in here. This thing is crazy accurate. With either the primary arms or my ACOGs on, everyone says when they grab this rifle and shoot it, it feels like cheating. It's like a cheat code. I've never had any accuracy issues. One of the things that they do too, let's see if I can get it in here, is they stake the castle nut. They do that. I believe they pin the gas block as well. These things are built for durability. When I bought this rifle, there was a sale going on that came with their flip-up sights, so they're backup iron sights. So these are iron, they flip up, and then you can press a button and they'll go back down. It's not like button flip up, it's still manually flip up, but that's not a big deal. With not being able to co-witness because of my stigmatism, these run, the mount I run is an ADM, I think an American Defense Manufacturing quick detach here. So this primary arms takes the same mounting system as a Trijicon ACOG, as the compact ACOG. So this is kind of that mount that I got for it, where I was raising it before when I had the ACOG on here. So if you have any questions about this rifle, I mean, I give this thing a 9 out of 10. It's not a Gucci rifle. It doesn't have the greatest trigger, but it's accurate, it's reliable, and it's built like a tank, you know, like it's really well assembled. I know a lot of people out there recommend BCM as like kind of like that go-to-war rifle type style or something like that. I mean, I've had a Daniel Defense before as well. Daniel Defense is a really great rifle. But this, instead of BCM, I would recommend Midwest Industries instead. You know, they're just, what they do with their rifles is using those Criterion barrels is already a leg up. The only thing I changed out is I did put a BCM charging handle as well. So this had, you know, kind of a standard GI charging handle. I switched to a BCM. Probably, you know, at the time, if Radian was Radian, like back then they were, what was it, AXTS or something like that, I would have got a Radian handle, but this BCM's been in there. It does the job. It's got a little bit bigger latch. I like that. And I put a little bit, you can see one of the things that some people do with their rifles, you can see here to make this stand out a little bit further, I put a little bit of nail polish, just a little dollop on the top of this, so that when I'm using iron sights, which by the way, these iron sights have been locked in for 6 years. Whenever I take a sight off, I plink around with irons. These things are dead on. They haven't moved. And it makes it a lot easier to acquire that front sight and line it up the way that I want. So a little bit of nail polish on there. You can always touch it up if you don't like what you did. This suppressor has been great so far. You know, it has just the left hand to tighten mounting system. So I have their QD, which is still screw on there. So just a flash hider under here. I'm not a fan of brakes. I don't really see any reason to run a brake, especially on a 5.56. And then especially like if I'm throwing a can on here, there's no need for that. So yeah, that's my main fighting rifle, as well as, you know, I've taken this thing deer hunting. I took a deer last year with it. It was no problem. I dropped it in one shot, used my 64 grain gold dots on that. I have a new rifle on the way. It's in the finishing touches. It's a Type A Pro. It's a 12.5-inch SBR. So I'm looking forward to that. The one thing that I'm looking forward to trying is, you can see here, this grip has kind of an angle on it. I'm looking for that kind of more 90-degree on there. So this is pretty old. You can see all the dirt in here, my dead skin, everything else. There's a compartment under here. Magwell on these is flared a bit. Bolt is MPI. It's inspected. Magnetic particle. I think it's phosphate coated, magnesium phosphate coated. No issues there. Extractor's been running fine. Not any extra wear on the cam pin or anything like that. Maybe I'll show that in another video, what the bolt looks like after 13,000 rounds. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. Again, I can't recommend Midwest Industries enough. If it's your first rifle, you're looking at like a 16-inch or something like that, you're not really looking into that Gucci market, get this. You won't be disappointed. It's going to last. It doesn't have the glamour as some of the other rifles. It doesn't have that YouTube presence the same way. But I would put it up against those. I've shot BCMs. I've shot Daniel Defenses. I'd put this right up there. One of the other things that I never run is ambi safeties. You know, if I take my finger off that trigger, it's running up here. When there's that safety, there's that ledge that stabs into you. So unless you're left-handed, I don't see any reason why you'd ever buy an ambi lower. It doesn't make sense to me. Also, too, you know, hit that mag release with my finger, which is where it rests. Hit the slide release with my other hand if I need to. Just kind of the standard manual of arms here. I don't see any reason to switch that up unless you're left-handed. So I don't get the ambi craze right now. There's not that many of you that are left-handed. Thank you.